Wow, everyone. What a second round we've had so far. There's two series we never got to talk about, and that's the CAVS Bulls series and the Houston Rockets versus the Clippers series. So let's just dive right into it right now. Let's talk about the Bulls CAVS series. What's your guys' thoughts on the CAVS Bulls series so far? What's happened through 5 games?
I think Cavs and Bulls have lived up to the hype that we were giving it way back in the season when we said these two teams are going to meet in the second round. There's been drama. We've seen a couple game winners. There's been calls that have been debated on the internet. And of course, it's LeBron versus Chicago. The whole Jordan thing. Can he live up to the expectation of being the best player on the planet? So I think it's lived up to the hype thus far.
David?
I have to agree with Andre. It's definitely lived up to the hype. I think on our Twitter handle, Real Court Vision, that we all had it in 7. Me and Chris, obviously Bulls, you and Cavs. So we obviously knew it was going to go to 7 games or 6 games. So it's definitely lived up to the hype so far.
I really thought Bulls were going to win Game 5, but the way they've handled themselves through Game 4 and 5 is just like, my pick's a little bit in trouble there. So I'm not too much confident, too much confidence in it. But we'll get to that question later. But I do feel like Chicago can still pull it out, but it's going to be very hard for them to do so. But let's get into Game 5 mainly. What would you say, because a very controversial thing happened, Gibson being ejected with that Dellavedova leg lock, but it looked like he kicked him off thing.
Yes.
And it was I thought it was a leg lock, and it wasn't like, it wasn't like a push off. It was like, and I think any player would react, get the hell off me, like, why are you locking my leg? But Dellavedova was smart about that. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't think Gibson should have been ejected for a little altercation with Dellavedova. I think it was something that you kind of call a regular foul or you move on and let it happen. This is the playoffs that we're talking about. Hard fouls happen. People get tangled up all the time. They're fighting for their lives, for their season to go on. So I think it was a little sketchy. And calls like that are what make people complain about a LeBron team getting calls or getting favored by the refs. Little things like that shouldn't happen. I think Gibson should still be in the series. He should not have been ejected from the game.
Yeah, like for sure. Because, I saw it, man. I'm like, wow. It turned bigger than what it was. Like, Aaron Brooks came in, shoved J.R. Smith out of the way, and then, all the players got into it. It's just, just let it happen. For me, when that stuff kind of happens, it just makes me think how soft the NBA is actually getting. Like, why eject him, man? He's a crucial part of this game. Keep him in the game. That's what the Bulls are about: being physical, getting in with one another, man. So let it happen. I hated that call. He shouldn't have been ejected. Should give him a regular foul or Actually, there's a case to be made. Dellavedova should have been could have got that foul for locking his leg. Like, this isn't UFC, man. This is the friggin' NBA, And they sided with the Cavs, and like you said, it makes people think, LeBron's team getting the calls, and like the fact that I think Jordan Crawford officiated that game makes people think even more. What the hell is this? David, your thoughts on how this is all going?
Man, I just think how weak the NBA is, like perfectly what Chris said. Like, it's just so bad how the NBA is now. And seeing Dellavedova kind of instigating everything, it was kind of smart of him to do that. Yeah. Like, I think all of us, if we saw Gibson playing that hard of a defense and being that big of a factor, like early in the game, you would want to take him out. And I think that was a beautiful part on Dellavedova. I think I would do it too. And I don't mind it.
But the ejection,
but like I don't mind the ejection because he kind of like, I know he's doing the leg lock and stuff like that, but I think it built up to that. I think Taj Gibson just building up to that. I think him getting overreacting and stuff like that. So if he could have just easily went like this.
So no, but if it happened to you while you're playing and like the heat of the moment, you're 2-2 in Cleveland, you hate Cleveland. A player as small as Dellavedova is like the annoyance that he is, leg locks you. How would you react?
If you're smart enough, then you should know how annoying he is and don't let him get into your head.
But that tells me that's not the ref's fault as well. Like just him, like.
But refs are humans. They're gonna make bad decisions during the game. But you as a player, for riding for your teammates, you have to be smart enough for that. Instead of like trying to, he obviously didn't physically like kick and like push them off, but he tries to move it away. And I understand what the referees are doing.
But I'm going on the basis of the fact that you said, like, I don't mind the ejection. I do mind the ejection.
I don't mind.
You should mind it because it's you shouldn't have been ejected. That's why.
Well, don't move your leg.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna let him leg lock my leg.
Yeah, what is he gonna do? Take you down? And what was that? Was he gonna do a submission on you?
No one in that moment would just be like,
Yeah,
It's
like,
no,
bruh,
no,
like,
it's the smart thing to let it go, but when the adrenaline is going, it's hard.
Okay,
to
the
make that
adrenaline
decision.
goes, and there's what happens. You get sent off.
Yeah, but he
And it
shouldn't.
was
My point is, he shouldn't have been sent off.
Either way, he got sent off, and like, I think it was fine because it was his
It
choice.
wasn't fine.
It was his choice for.
It's
him
just
to
more
go off
blows to
anyways.
Chicago. You're already missing Pau Gasol. You're already missing Pau Gasol, and
Okay,
and now,
you,
and now Gibson,
you just said it was a bad thing, right? You said it was a bad choice. Then why do it? Then why have it off like that? Why do it?
I think anyone. Okay, maybe not the aggressiveness like Gibson did, but everyone would have been get the hell off me.
But you just said the aggressiveness. But that's Gibson himself doing it. Not everyone else.
When they showed the replay as slow as they did, you fully see
Are the refs seeing the replay?
The refs they went to the board and looked at it.
But like at the same time, if you're doing it the whole time, if the refs are seeing it, they can still call it. They can still call the ejection, right?
It was a bad call. They can still call the ejection, but they shouldn't have called the
bad
ejection.
calls all the time, man.
It was stupid.
They call bad calls all the time. Did you watch Game 4?
Yes.
That was bad call all the time. So there you go.
I disagree with you all the way. But I have to get this show back on track. Keeping with the Cavs, how important have the role players been so far? You know, like Dellavedova stepped up, Shumpert, Smith,
JR,
and Mozgov.
Thompson.
What they say is the best offensive rebounder in the league. So what are your thoughts on each four of them? Or five of them, actually.
The role players have helped out because the King hasn't been on his A game up to Game 5. Game 5, he really finally woke up, but up to that point, the role players were kind of helping him out, helping the Cavs stay in this series, because the reality is the Bulls could be up right now, and LeBron doesn't hit that game winner if he's not put in that position by J.R. Smith making some late game shots. We look at Tristan Thompson, he's getting key rebounds, and he's sort of canceling out the effect of Noah. Noah hasn't been right all season, and even all series, he hasn't really been the Noah that we know and love for his passion and his energy on the court. And especially with Pau Gasol being out, I think Tristan Thompson has been pretty huge. And Shumpert had a big rebound in Game 5 to help seal that game so that Kyrie and LeBron can make free throws to close it out. So the Cavs aren't where they are right now without the role players showing up.
David, your thoughts? Is there someone you want to single out, or has it just been like a whole team?
Man, JR Swish. JR Swish. Well, Game 4, man, when LeBron was on the bench and they were going back and forth, J.R. Smith hit those 3 to 4 3-pointers. Gave him that boost of morale to get LeBron James. Oh man, I can close this out with the game winner. So J.R. Smith to me has been like the biggest key coming off the suspension. He's playing great. Dellavedova, man, just unbelievable. Kyrie Irving's been playing hurt, so he can't be on Derrick Rose that much with the amount of screens he's been taking. So Dellavedova, picking him up all the way from full court, running his butt off to get some half court, fighting all the screens. He's like, don't worry, I'm not switching. I got this, dude.
Yeah, word.
So I have Dellavedova and J.R. Smith have been truly a big step for Cleveland.
For me, I think you can kind of, if you put anyone else on the team, I think they should step up. But a guy like Tristan Thompson can't be replaced. His offensive rebounding has been so key. He's given Cleveland so many second chance rebound. The way he goes in the paint relentlessly, and he's not going up against soft guys. He's going up against some of the best bigs in this league. You know? He's going up against Gibson, Noah, Mirotic is not really that big, but he's still a big. You got going up against Pau. You know, it's not like, you know, just those front guys just were will rebound. Everyone in the Bulls is known to go five deep to rebound that ball. So I think a guy that I would have to give credit to is Tristan Thompson. You know, he doesn't get enough credit, and mind you, he turned down a contract at the beginning of the season thinking, you know what, I can get more money. And people thought he was stupid for turning down that money, but yeah, he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid. Best offensive rebounder in the league is hard to find, and second chance points is helping the Cavs out a lot. So I think we spent a lot of time talking about the Cavs Bulls series. Let's get into it.
As we should have, but
yeah, it's been a great series. They deserve to be talked about. So let's get into the Clippers Rockets series. Now 5 games have passed. Clippers are up 3-2. I gotta ask you though, there's been a lot of hacking going on with DeAndre and Dwight, but mainly it's been DeAndre Jordan. We all know he set a record with 28 in the first half and then finished the game with 34. I ask you guys though, is it good or bad? Is it working in Houston's favor or is it working against them?
It's definitely bad because they're losing. They're still losing 3-2. Like, Houston can foul all they want, but they're still losing. And the fact that they're not getting to transition, they're not setting up their sets. They're not a half court team. I think we can all agree with that. They're not a half court team.
Yeah.
They like a full court, like throwing the lob to Dwight Howard or getting the corner three to Jason Terry or Trevor Ariza. I think that's why it's been such a bad thing for them. I think they need to switch up their game plan and figure out other ways to beat Clippers right now.
Yeah, I think whether or not DeAndre Jordan is missing free throws, the Clippers are still finding other ways to score. And even if you're slowing down or stopping their momentum, other players are still hot. It's just a momentary stop where DeAndre is going to break 1 or 2 free throws. Okay, what does Houston do when he misses those free throws? They're not capitalizing on it anyways. Their effort level is not there, so it's not really having a good effect on the series for them. Like you said, the Clippers are up 3-2. They find themselves in the hole, right?
Yeah, especially when Game 4 they did it 34 times and ended up getting slapped. It didn't work out. Game
lost.
5 they did it 14 times and they end up winning. It's like, what the hell? Just stop it. Just stop and play your game. If it's especially, we just know you do it too much, you're losing. You do it too less, you're winning.
It's one thing to hack DeAndre when he's in the paint about to get an easy layup. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. But to stop the game completely and be like, yo, if we don't do this, we're gonna lose the game. Your team's in trouble already.
Yeah, that first half lasted like 80 plus minutes, and that was brutal to watch. I was there like. Yo, when is this half gonna end? Like,
I mean, DeAndre Jordan getting his free throws, none of this would happen.
That's a whole different issue.
Good game plan, but they're losing.
That's a whole different issue to talk about. Like, the league wants to get rid of it, but none of us agree it should get.
No.
It should get.
Work on your free throws, man. You're a pro.
Let's not get into that right now.
Let's move on.
But let's go to Let's talk about one of the guys who's been shining this series, and that's Blake Griffin. How important is he to this series, and like what has he been doing right? And was he like how? Yeah, exactly. I'm saying how important is he?
Blake Griffin has been more than just a banger in the paint. He's facilitated for his teammates, and he's played okay defense so far in the series. In my opinion, he's been the MVP of these playoffs so far. He got himself a triple-double early on in the series against an imposing front court in Houston. And with Chris Paul being out for the first couple games, he's sort of been the leader for that team. He's finally finding some consistency in the playoffs, and that's a huge deal for Blake Griffin and for the Clippers if they hope to advance.
David, what do you guys say about Blake Griffin and his performance so far throughout this series? Not throughout the playoffs, just throughout this series with the Rockets.
This season, I think this series, my bad, he's building so much more confidence over last series. He faced a Hall of Famer in Tim Duncan. Now he's facing over guys that are Terrence Jones, a really good player. Dwight Howard's a really good player, but they're not Tim Duncan's level. So I think after you realize, man, I just beat Tim Duncan. These guys should not be on my level right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that Blake Griffin is just like, let me get to the Western Conference Finals. Let me show the whole world what I can do. I'm more than just a dunker. I can actually go in the post and actually do some things in the post.
Yeah, he loves to handle the ball a lot. He likes dribbling up the court, creating for his teammates. I think he's been a shining star this series, man. He realized, like you said, that he just went through the tough. It's like what I said earlier, previous episodes. Like, he realized I just went through the toughest team. Now I'm facing a team that isn't as polished as San Antonio.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same coaching, doesn't have the same chemistry they do.
Not the same experience in the playoffs.
That team doesn't run 1 to 15. These guys, we fully saw Houston's team struggle, So the fact that Blake Griffin's shining, it's nice to see because I haven't been rooting for him, but I've also wanted him.
It's nice to see players finally develop in their careers. Like, it's nice to see Blake Griffin finally go and not just be known as a posterizer, but as an actual basketball player, not just as an athlete.
Yeah, it's great to see. But let's go on the other side of that. Let's talk about friggin' Houston. What's up with Houston?
Houston.
They find themselves down. They were down 3-1, tied up the series 3-2, but it's not like they've had wow, they won by this much. In Game 5 they had a little bit of a sizable lead, but it's like Chris Paul or Matt Barnes or Jay Jordan would hit a 3 and they're down by 15. Hit another one, they're down by 12. And
stuff like that.
Yeah. Kevin McHale literally up to plus 20. Hack a DeAndre. He's just like, that's how you know your coach kind of doesn't. You know why? That just points out your coach does not have confidence, and you just like, I'm up 20 and I still gotta hack the biggest guy, the worst free throw shooter. It's just like, I don't think my team can handle that big of lead because this team can come back in. I don't know if he's just like, it was the smartest. It was a good strategy to go to, but I think it speaks levels to your team, saying I don't really trust you guys that much. What do you guys think?
It's crazy. I think Houston's defense has been pretty atrocious this series, man. Especially considering the leader of the Clippers has been out at the beginning, and he's still not 100% healthy. We know that. Yeah, the role players have chipped in, but at the end of the day, Houston's defense is what's making LA have such an easy time this series and have a chance to close it out at home in Game 6. They play better defense. They should be in the lead in the series, considering the health of the Clippers coming out of a grueling series in the first round.
Yeah, another point I'd like to add, they were celebrating Game 5. You know, they were up. I'm thinking, you need to take this more seriously. You're down in the series still with a chance for them to close it out in Game 6. Why the hell are you celebrating? It's good for you to get the win, but you're just like, we still need to do work. You're still down. Why the hell are you celebrating like that? That's one thing that got me mad about this. Like, are you guys taking this as a joke? I understand you're happy about the win, but be a little more serious, a little more professional, because you still got 2 games to win in a hostile environment. Yeah. Like, I don't know what you're thinking about doing that, man. I personally didn't like that.
Yeah, they're still not in a favorable spot in this series, man. They still got work to do to stay alive.
Yeah, that really irked me. David, your take on Houston.
Houston's just like realizing what they did in the first round. Like, they had an easy pathway, to my belief, against Dallas, and they just ran into a brick wall against Clippers. Clippers are just riding on so much confidence. But like I said, the Houston's role players are not as big as everyone thinks they are. Jason Terry is only going to shoot threes if he can. You know what I mean? If he shoots like 0 for 3, he's out of the equation.
Yeah.
But Trevor Ariza's playing sus defense now, and he's only spotting up in that corner. He needs to drive in more and challenge DeAndre, challenge Blake Griffin. And Dwight Howard's, getting 20 and 10, but I want to see him get 30 and 10. I want to see him get 30 points. He can get 30 points. James Harden and Dwight Howard have to combine for at least 60 points in order to at least stay alive in these playoffs right now, in order to keep their season alive.
Yeah, I think it's bad. I think for Dwight Howard, you have the opportunity to work with 2 of the best bigs, Kevin McHale and Hakeem the Dream, and you're still what Shaq would say, barbecue chicken.
I think that's what shows that Dwight Howard's an athlete. He's not a basketball player, in my opinion. He's an athlete. Kevin McHale and Hakeem Olajuwon were basketball players. That's why they're legends and Hall of Famers. Dwight Howard's an athlete.
There was one play where DeAndre Jordan was backing down on Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard was calling help. You're the biggest man on the court, the freakish size that you are, and you're calling on help. The most athletic man on the court, the biggest man on the court, 7 feet, and you're calling for help? Are you kidding me?
I mean, this is DeAndre Jordan we're talking about.
Yeah, Dwight Howard's like limited. Dwight Howard's like at least 6'10", but in terms of like DeAndre Jordan trying to back him down, trying to do post moves, like, you don't need help for that, man.
DeAndre Jordan ain't gonna spot up on you and shoot. He's gonna try to back you down. And the fact that he went around him and did a reverse layup, I'm like, what the hell was happening there? Like, what? Houston's really pissing me off. I kind of liked Houston, but they're just getting exposed right now. And I never liked Houston. And I think my prediction is gonna be spot on. Like I say, Clippers ended in 6, and I think it's gonna happen. I truly, truly, truly believe that. So that's gonna wrap it up, guys, for these 2 series that we got to talk about. Sorry for this video being a little long, but we had a lot to say about these 2 particular series. So let's talk about our challenge briefly. It's going to be the water balloon challenge. I don't know if we're going to be the first ones to do this, but the losers pretty much has to stand still while the winners get to throw around 50-ish water balloons. It's really gonna hurt, but oh well, it's the challenge we decided on that we're going to do. So thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Sorry I messed that up, but anyways, peace. A teacher!